Hello again and welcome to my channel. Today's tutorial is for a V-stitch granny square. I'm using double knit yarn and a 5mm hook. I'm going to make quite a few squares and make it into a scrap blanket just to use up all the odd balls of wool that I've got left over from previous projects, and I'll show you how I would join the two squares together using a crochet join. So we're going to start with the yellow and we do a chain of 4. So we're going to slip knot onto the hook and work 4 chain. If you're not sure about the chain stitch, we've slip knot onto the hook and then it's just yarn over and pull through. So there's 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, and yarn over, pull through 4. We're now going to join into a circle, so we just slip the hook into that first chain, yarn over, oops, move the tail of the yarn, and just pull through the 2 loops. We've now got a circle that we're going to work into, which is here. You might have to sort of pull the circle slightly so that you can see where the centre is. The first stitch is going to be 3 chain. That's going to count as the first double. So yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 3. And then we just yarn over into the circle, pick up a loop that's got 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. We're going to do another double, yarn over into that circle, pick up a loop, yarn over through 2 and yarn over through 2. So there's the first 3 stitches, the first one being the 3 chain. We're now going to chain 2, which is going to form the corner. We're going to do another 3 doubles into this same circle. So yarn over into the stitch, pick up a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over and through 2. We do that another 2 times. There's 1 and 2. If you find that the video is going a little bit too fast for your speed of crochet, just click on the cog and you can slow the video down if you just go to the speed. So chain 2 and then we do another 3 doubles into this centre circle. We've got 1 and 2 and 3. We're going to chain 2. We're now going to do the final 3 doubles. 1 and 2 and 3. So again we're going to do 2 chain for the 4th corner. We're going to join into the top of the 3 chain that we did as the first stitch. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Just pop the hook in, pick up a loop, pull it through and pull through the final loop. So the work will look like this. We've got 4 sets of 3 doubles. Just get my scissors and hopefully you'll be caught up. As I'm doing each row in a different colour, as we're doing each row in a different colour, I'm going to snip off the yarn, just put that yarn over and pull it through, pull tight, and that will finish off. So each row I'm going to start in a corner, just enlarge it slightly. So we're going to join in the new colour, which in this case is going to be the coral. And again we just slip knot onto the hook, hook under, pick up a loop and pull tight, and then we're going to join with a slip stitch into a corner. I try to use a different corner each time so that we've not got all of the ends in one place. So into the corner, pick up a loop and pull through, and that attaches the yarn with a slip knot. So again, the first stitch is going to be 3 chain. I'm going to catch the tail of the yarn as I'm doing the stitches so that there's less to work in at the end, and then we're going to do a double into that same corner space. So yarn over into the corner, pick up a loop, yarn forward to 2, yarn forward, yarn over and through 2, chain 2 because this is a corner, and we're going to do another 2 doubles into that same chain space. We've now got the 3 doubles from the previous row, and we're going to do a V-stitch into the middle stitch here, and a V-stitch is yarn over into the stitch, pick up a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, chain 1, and then we do a double into the same space. So that's created the first V-stitch. We don't do any chains, we skip the next stitch, and we're going to do the corner stitch, which is going to be the same on every row, and that's 2 doubles, chain 2 and another 2 doubles. And you can see there that we've worked over the end of the yarn, so there's nothing to work in. We're now going to skip a stitch and work into this middle stitch here and work a V-stitch, which again is a double, a chain and a double into the same space. Then we skip the next stitch and work another corner, which is 2 doubles, 2 chain and 2 doubles. I'm going to skip the next stitch and working over these 2 tails of yarn, I'm going to do a V-stitch into the middle stitch of the 3 doubles from the previous row. And then skip the next stitch and work the next corner. Again, that's 2 doubles, 2 chains and 2 doubles, a nice easy one to remember. And then we're going to work the final V-stitch into this middle double from the previous row. Which is a double, a chain and a double. We're now going to join with a slip stitch into the 3rd chain of the starting stitch. And again, I'm going to snip off the yarn and pull it through. So there we've got 2 rows, and we're going to start the next colour, which is going to be the rust in my case, but obviously you'll use whatever colours you've got in your stash. Or you could do this all in one colour if you prefer. You could just do a V-stitch blanket. You don't even have to stop like I've done here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. You could just carry on working a different colour each row and make one large blanket that's just one square, but because I'm using up the excess yarns, I'm going to make the smaller squares. So again, in a separate corner, a different corner to where we fastened off before, we're going to join in the yarn with a slip stitch and work the 3 chain that counts as the first double, work a corner stitch, which again is 2 doubles, 2 chains and 2 doubles. Now on this row we're going to work the first V-stitch in between the 2 doubles from the corner of the previous row. So no chains, we just go straight into a double in between those 2 stitches and work a V, which is 1 double, 1 chain, 1 double. We're going to work the next V-stitch into the previous V-stitch. And then the third V-stitch. I'll just redo that one, the yarn split slightly. The third V-stitch we're going to do into the half of the corner stitch from the previous row. So yarn over, pick up the loop, chain 1 and another double, and then we're back to the next corner where we've got a 2 chain space and we do the corner stitch. So 2 doubles, 2 chains and 2 doubles. And we're going to work the same all the way around the square, working the V-stitch into the corner stitch from the previous row, and then a V-stitch into the V-stitch that we did. Oops, forgot the chain there. So it's 1 double, 1 chain, 1 double into the next 2 stitches, and between those 2 doubles of the corner I'm going to work a V, and then into the corner 2 chain space we work the corner repeat of 2 doubles, 2 chains and 2 doubles. And then work a V between the next 2 stitches, a V into the V from the previous row, a V into the space between the 2 doubles of the corner stitch, and then again we're back to the corner where we're going to work 2 doubles, 2 chains and 2 doubles. Oops, without that chain. And then a V-stitch into the space between the 2 stitches here, a V into the V-stitch, and then a final V into the space between the 2 doubles of the corner from the previous row. And then again we're going to join with a slip stitch into the top of the 3 chain, snip off the yarn, pull through and fasten off. So we've now got the 3 rows. I'm going to do row number 4 in green, and it's exactly the same as the previous row, where we're going to start off in a different corner with a slip stitch and work the 3 chain, which counts as the first double. So I'll just quickly work this row round and if you need to, you can pause the video until you've worked your round. Don't forget that the first V is going to go into the space between the two doubles of the corner from the previous row. And then as the square grows, you'll find that you've got more V's that you're going to work a V into. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and then the last V is always going to go in between the two doubles from the corner stitch from the previous row. And then we're back to the corner where again we're going to work the 2 doubles, 2 chains and 2 doubles. If it makes it easier to see where the corners are, you could use stitch markers in each of the corner stitches, and then the first V is going to fall into the space between the 2 doubles from the previous row in the corner. So we're just going to carry on all the way around, working exactly the same way, and I'll meet you when we get to the end of this row. I worked the 4th row, 1, 2, 3 and 4. I'm going to do a final row to bring it up to the same size as the other square. I'm going to use a lilac yarn for this one. But again, it's exactly the same as we did before, just slip stitch into the corner and start with the 3 chain, and then work 1 double, so that in effect we've got the 2 doubles, the 3 chain counts as the first, and 2 chain and another 2 doubles into the corner. And then I'm going to work exactly the same as we did on the previous rows, working the first V into the space between the 2 doubles of the corner, and then 1 V stitch into each of the V stitches, and the final V goes into the space between the 2 doubles in the final corner, and I'll meet you when we get round to the end of the row. So I've now done the final 5th row in the lilac, and we've got 2 V-stitch granny squares. I'm now going to join these 2 together using a contrast yarn. I've decided to use white on this particular one so that you can actually see the stitches. So to do a crochet join, we're going to put the 2 pieces together wrong sides facing, so it's the wrong side that are going to be together, and we're working just into the top of the stitches going along the row. So we're going to slip knot onto the yarn as always, and then into the corner 2 chain I'm going to pop the hook, and also in the corner 2 chain of the other square. I'm going to pick up the yarn and just slip stitch together. Now we're only going to work into the outer loop of each of these stitches. So as you look at the top of the stitch here, you can see we've got a front loop and the back loop. We're going to use the back loop from this square and the back loop from the other square. Just zoom in slightly to make it a little bit easier to see the actual loop that I'm going to use. So into this back loop here, into the back loop from the other square, we're going to yarn over, pull through and pull through that loop as well, and then the same again. And because we've got the same amount of stitches on each square, there will be the same amount of loops, and we're just going to slip stitch again. So the back loop on this square, the back loop on the other square, pull the loop through and slip through the loop on the hook. And we'll just carry on all the way along the row, just using the back loop from each of the squares and slip stitch, and this will give a ridged finish to the actual squares, and you'll get this ridge going all along each of the sides. So I'll carry on to the end of the row and then show you what the finished join looks like. Get to the final stitch, I'm going to put the hook through the 2 loops, pull through and slip stitch, and then the final stitch is going to be into the 2 chain corner space. So again, I'm just going to pick up a loop and pull it through. I wouldn't fasten off at this point because I would normally have done a few squares together and then just carry on along and join 2 more squares at the end there. But this is the slip stitch join to crochet 2 squares together. If you wanted to do a single crochet join, I have got another tutorial on joining squares together using a single crochet join, and there's also another one to join using a double crochet 2 together to join, and that gives a slightly lacier finish to the join. So there we have the V-stitch granny with a slip stitch crochet join. I do hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Please subscribe to my channel and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.